Hey guys, this one is the best smartphones for 2020 under $700. What are the best smartphones this year at this price? Let's get right into the OnePlus 8 Pro or the OnePlus 8T. It's going to depend where you live on what this costs you and the availability. And by the way, I'm going to put all of these phones in the description. I'll put the links and everything there. You can go and check the availability and the price in your region, but check all that out in the description. In fact, the OnePlus 8 Pro and the OnePlus 8T, there are some minor differences here, and you may not want to pay the extra for the Pro. The OnePlus 8T even has a couple of specs that are better than the Pro, mainly the charging, which is 65 watt. Such a great spec. It really is just so quick. You really can't argue with that. I've used this in actually a bunch of phones already, and it's not a new technology. Oppo had it first like a year ago, but it's in the OnePlus now. It's a really good spec. Something that you don't get in the OnePlus 8T that you do get in the OnePlus 8 Pro is wireless charging. That's 30 watts in the OnePlus 8 Pro, but you do need OnePlus's special pay extra wireless charger. You can get Qi wireless charging with a normal charger, but if you want that super quick charging, you're gonna have to buy the special OnePlus charger. They both have 120 Hz displays though. The 8T is flat, the Pro is curved. Loads of people love flat displays. Flat displays are actually making a comeback in these kind of slightly cheaper flagship phones. I like flat displays. I also do like curved displays, but it's not really a game changer either way for me. The OnePlus 8 Pro is probably the most stunning phone that I've used this year. That curved display, the design in general, it's super premium. But where OnePlus phones do lag compared to the competition is in the cameras. They have amazing hardware, the screens, the charging, the chipset, it's all premium, but the cameras is somewhere that just doesn't really stack up when you're looking iPhone and also Samsung flagships. The OnePlus 8 Pro was a very good performer. The main camera was great, the ultra wide was great, the zoom camera just wasn't up to the standard of some others. The OnePlus 8T is kind of a downgrade in the camera further from the OnePlus 8 Pro. A very decent camera all around, but it isn't quite up at the level of those other flagships that really do concentrate on the camera. Overall though, OnePlus made two amazing phones here, and they really do offer a ton of value even up at this price. Also, before we get into the next phones, if you want to see the best smartphones under $300, $400, $500, check out the links in the description. I'll put those videos in here and a lot of other information as well. Check that out, but let's get on to the next phone. So this is the iPhone slot, and yes, the iPhone 12 certainly is above $700, but hear me out on this one, because if you are someone looking at an iPhone, especially in the UK and the US, you're going to be on a contract. You're going to be paying a certain amount each month, and the cost for you to upgrade to a new iPhone 12 is probably going to be not that much, like maybe $100 for the handset and then staying on your plan. In any case, the iPhone 12 to buy outright is $800 more or less. The iPhone mini coming in further under that, although that's not for everyone. And also I want to mention the iPhone 11, because this is still a really relevant phone, and for most consumers is going to be everything you need when it comes to the iPhone. There are some things that you get with iPhone that you're never going to get with any Android smartphone. The first and main one is at least 5 years of software support. For most normal consumers, non-tech heads like you and me probably watching this, that's really important to have the same operating system on their 4 or 5 year old phone that new phones are getting. Most people don't change their phones for at least 3 years, so that support is kind of a big deal. So with the iPhone 12, paying a little bit more, you get an OLED screen, which you didn't in the iPhone 11, an amazing dual camera setup. You also get MagSafe charging, which is a new addition here. For the iPhone 11, you still get a dual camera setup. It's an LCD display, but again, for most people, probably not a deal breaker. And Apple give you the most powerful chipsets in smartphones, the A14, or in the iPhone 11, you get the A13. They are both going to serve you incredibly well for many years to come. And for a little bit above 700 in the iPhone 12, a little bit below 700 in the iPhone 11, by the time you've traded in your old phone, sold your old phone, or just got it on a contract, they just have a lot of value around this price. And we come to 3 phones from Samsung. I'm going to talk about all of these together because, again, depending on where you live and the availability, there's actually 3 phones that really could fit the bill here. So the first one is the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition, which for me is such a great phone. You get a 120Hz display, a really good triple camera system, the best processors, good fast charging, and a great design. It's plastic on the back, not a big deal for me. It really does offer a ton of value. It offers all the necessary bits and the basic bits that the S20 did, cutting out some of the costs, giving you a lower price. Having said that though, Samsung aggressively discount their phones, and so the S20 Plus has been out for almost a year now. In a couple of months' time, it's going to get replaced by the S21 series, and so you can pick that phone up for a really good deal depending on if you're on Amazon, maybe in a store near you. The core of the S20 Plus and the S20 Fan Edition is pretty much the same. You just get a slightly more premium build and design in the S20 Plus. And I do want to quickly mention the Note 10 Plus as well, because this has been discounted. You know, this is a year old. It's already been replaced by the Note 20, but this still makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. It's one of the most premium designs you're going to get in any smartphone. You've got a really nice subtle curved screen, the S Pen, super useful for some people, a really good camera system as well. The chipset is a flagship SoC, but it's been replaced already, and it's about to be replaced again by the new phones coming in the spring of 2021. If you're going for an Android phone, there's always a decision to be made, whether you buy a newer, slightly downgraded phone, or you just go for a slightly older, proper flagship phone. I usually tend towards the latter, going for a slightly older flagship, because the best of the best is always put in those phones, and they usually have a more premium design. Pixel 5 has to make this list, and it's actually way under $700, so you can buy maybe a charging accessory or a case as well. This is maybe a strange one to put in the list because this isn't a flagship phone as such. It definitely is Google's flagship this year, but it has a mid-range chipset. The 765G is going to be perfectly fine for most people. You're not going to be able to play games in the highest settings. That is the restriction on this chipset. It does have 5G though, and it's a Pixel. It has some of the best cameras. It just takes amazing photos. Even with that mid-range SoC, it didn't hold it back. Being a brand new phone, also with a really great OLED 90Hz display, 5G, and some of the best cameras, it comes in cheaper than the rest because of that mid-range SoC, and that actually, I think, makes it a really good deal, and for most people, it's going to be more than enough phone. Also still amazing value is the Xiaomi Mi 10, and when this first came out at the beginning of the year, it did launch internationally, and it was way too expensive in my opinion. It was way more expensive than when it came out in China. It was like $1,000, £1,000 in the UK, just too much for that phone. Now around $700 or £700, I think it's pretty good value. This might be a really hard sell if you're in the UK or the US because Samsung, they're just better integrated. You have Samsung Pay and everything. But as a piece of hardware, this thing really is undeniable. An amazing design, great 90Hz OLED display, really good quality this one. You also get some of the best audio in terms of the speakers, 2 real dedicated speaker boxes. You get amazing charging as well, both wired and wireless, really quick. As a piece of hardware, this thing really does shine, even now, almost a year later. I think the decisions here really are more how these phones integrate with your original ecosystem and how they interact with everything else. Because up at this price, all of these phones are amazing. That is it for this one though. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.